What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome into another Knicks Nation post-game show as your New York Knicks defeat the Toronto Raptors by a final score of 139 to 125. Man, oh man, this Knicks team is clicking on all cylinders. This was the OG Anunoby game. For sure. A lot of questions regarding his elbow, but OG Anunoby said hold. All of those questions are out the window with OG Anunoby. 31 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 13 to 15 from the field. And the New York Knicks just continue to roll. Obviously, we'll get into the game more, especially OG Anunoby's performance. But what have we been saying, ladies and gentlemen? It's literally pick your poison. It has been pick your poison all season long. And OG Anunoby and Karl-Anthony Towns, both with 31 points tonight, 62 points combined. And you have Karl-Anthony Towns with another double-double on this season. The streak continues for Karl-Anthony Towns. And you took advantage of a depleted Raptors team. And look, they're 1-13 away from their home court. They're not a great team, but we don't care. We take these wins. We take these wins. And your New York Knicks are absolutely rolling right now. 19-10 on the season. They are 15-5 in their last 20 games. And defensively, look, I know the Raptors scored 43 points in the fourth quarter, but defensively, this Knicks team has found it. They found their rhythm, and everything seems to be clicking. Appreciate every single one of you in here. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We are just getting started in tonight's postgame. Hit some of these comments. Nostalgic, what's going on? Hit the like button. Whoa, why is this so big? Look, another win, another game. The thing I love about this Knicks, there's no stopping that. This Knicks team, this current Knicks team, there's no stopping them. I'm sorry. This current Knicks team is tough to beat. It's pick your poison. Pick the name out of the hat who you want to beat you on any given night. Really. And the beauty of this Knicks team is OG Anunoby was literally in a slump for a month. A shooting slump for a whole month. And this Knicks team was still rolling. Was getting better defensively. And offensively, you're being carried by Brunson, Cat, Mikal. That's why OG Anunoby can go in a month slump. But tonight is the reason why you're not worried about OG Anunoby's, slump. And the elbow concerns, I think he threw that out the window. And Anunoby with an amazing performance tonight against his former team. So that is now in a week span. In less than a week. It's been less than a week span. You had Karl-Anthony Towns stick it to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and tonight you had OG Anunoby stick it to the Toronto Raptors, and I know it's the second time Anunoby's played them this season, but in a week span, you had both of those situations occur, and you're on the winning side, and this Knicks team is clicking, rolling. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Dame, the new 40-40 club. Dame, man, what's going on? I appreciate you in here. Daniel, what's going on? Knicks have to save the NBA now. Our bench put up 41 points. Shout out to the bench tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the bench. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where am I? Let me put the camera back on me. Bear with me for 1 second. There I am. Shout out to the bench squad tonight. And I thought tonight's game, look, Cameron freaking Payne. That's all I have to say. I love his energy. I thought in the second quarter, he had 8 points in 5 minutes in a span. I thought he was a big part of the Knicks. I know they got down early, big part of the comeback early on. And your second quarter tonight was, again, a blow-up quarter from your New York Knicks. And it kind of reminded you of, let me just make this, just zoom this window. It kind of reminded you of the quarter that we saw in Minnesota, where the Knicks just absolutely obliterated them, right? So the second quarter tonight from your Knicks, they dropped 40 points compared to the Raptors' 24. And Cameron Payne was a catalyst, man. Off the bench tonight, 19 points, 4-7 from 3 from Cam Payne. And I love his toughness. I love his energy that he brings. 7-10 from the field. McBride with 12 points. Precious with 5. Jericho with 2. And Landry Shamet got in the game at the end of the game with 2 points. And he showed you his little isolation play that he converted on late in the game. But I thought in that second quarter, Cam Payne was absolutely incredible. And he was a spark for us, as well as, obviously Anunoby. But, guys, like I've been saying, it's literally pick your poison. There was one point where Anunoby started this game 11 for 11 from the field. 11 for 11 from the field. Guys, this Knicks team can beat you in many different ways. And what you're seeing in the month of December is they're winning differently. They're winning on their defense. They're winning on the loose balls. They're winning the loose ball battles. They're winning the rebounding battle. I love it, man. Freaking love it. Hit some of these comments. Appreciate you, every single one of you in here for another Knicks Nation post-game show. Let's go, man. The New York Knicks are absolutely on fire right now. They're 19-10, 9-4 to MSG, and this is all you want to see from them. They're clicking on all cylinders. They are. Lewis says wait till Shamet gets his feet wet. The bench will be dropping 40+ a night. Big Taz, what's going on? The New York Knicks are not to be played with. The thing I loved about tonight was not only was OG Anunoby scoring the rock, he was doing what he has been doing all season long. The winning plays, the loose balls, the defensive deflections from OG Anunoby in this game. Dominant. It's just dominant. Like, Anunoby just dominated this game. Like, plus 25 on the night. And that's the thing you love about Anunoby is even though he doesn't score, which makes him like a great player, even though he was going through a slump, he was still giving us tremendous value. And tonight was the big blow-up bounce-back game from OG Anunoby that we've been waiting for. Since the 40-point game in Denver, he's been in a slump. The elbow, put tape on it. Tom Thibodeau says, not worried about it. Guys are banged up. And then OG Anunoby, he shuts us all up tonight. He shuts us all up tonight regarding the elbow. I thought his shot looked smoother. I thought his, motion was smooth. And just an A-plus performance from one of your best players. 4-6 from 3 and 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal. A-plus performance from this Knicks team. OG bullied the entire Raptors team. Yeah, I mean, there was like a back-to-back possession in the first half, especially where Anunoby, I think he got a steal, and the next possession he dove for a loose ball, and I'm like, man, Anunoby is dominating this game. Winning plays. That's a winning player. You look at OG Anunoby, and he is a winning player. He just makes winning plays. And even at the end of the game, he said that his offense was gonna come, but all he really was concerned with is defense. As long as he's playing great defense, he's okay. And just shout out to the squad tonight. You got it done there. They are 19-10 on the season, 15-5 in their last 20 games, ladies and gentlemen, and they're rolling. they're rolling. It starts with defensively. It started with Mikal, and I've been saying it's pick the name out of a hat who is gonna hurt you tonight. That's what makes this Knicks team so dangerous, is that they can beat you in many different ways, and their starting five is elite. We'll get to Cat soon. I have some things to say about Karl-Anthony Towns, but let me hit some of these comments before we do that. El Figgy, my man OG is back. I knew he would against his old team. What's going on, El Figgy? Appreciate you in the chat. Appreciate all of you in the chat. Another W from the boys tonight. All around great game. I never thought OG would be this good offensively. I feel like we got a gem. Diamond and OG is very underrated. I don't even think he's underrated anymore. I just think he's legit. He's elite. He's legit. I mean, he's awesome, man. El Figgy Precious also had great contributions on defense tonight. Look, in the week span, Cat dominating the Minnesota Timberwolves. OG Anunoby dominating the Toronto Raptors. Precious with a good defensive showing tonight. And just all around. There was a point. Let me pull up. I got the stat here. Let me pull up the correct stat. There was a point. The reason why this Knicks team is so dangerous, right? There was a point in the second quarter where Jalen Brunson had no points, and the New York Knicks were up by 20. Jalen Brunson had no points, and this Knicks team was dominating. Brunson had 5 assists, I think, at the time. No points, and then this Knicks team was still up 20. That is what makes you think, like, look, our star player can literally have 0 points, and this Knicks team can still dominate in so many different ways. That's tough, man. That's tough to beat. And I don't even think this Knicks team has hit their peak yet. I don't. As crazy as that sounds, I think there's more in the tank for them to take. But I that was just when Jalen Brunson slow start offensively and this Knicks team was still dominating, I was saying to myself that, look, this team is really tough to beat. Like right now, especially the way this Knicks team is playing, 9 games over 500. They're 9-4 at home. They've been winning on the road. Mikal starting to turn the corner. Got Shamit back. Mitch in January, hopefully at the end of January. Karl-Anthony Towns dominating. I don't think this Knicks team has hit their peak yet. And it's that phrase right there is scary to say, because like what is next to come, right? Obviously more greatness and more wins and more dubs, because that's all we want. But yeah, just domination. And look, I don't even care that it was against the Raptors. I know some people are going to be saying that, like, look, you played the Raptors, this and that. But look, you play who's on your schedule. You take care of business. You take care of home court, and you move on. Point blank. You got the Spurs on Christmas Day, which should be a fun game. They just lost to the 76ers. And then you got more winnable games. But, hey, win these games. Every win counts the same. Whether you blow out the Toronto Raptors by 14, well, I mean, it was a blowout until the fourth, until the Knicks kind of took their foot off the gas. You blow out the Minnesota Timberwolves, or you win by 1 against, let's say the Celtics. A win is a win. You take these wins. You take these wins, man. This Rover says we 100% haven't hit our peak yet. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there's more in there from this Knicks team. There's more in there from this Knicks team. This was an MSG graphic from OG Anunoby, lockdown defender. Let me just put this on the screen right here. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Let me move over. Lockdown defender, OG Anunoby, 1.5 steals per game, second highest of his career, 1.1 blocks per game. career high. 101 deflections. That is third in the NBA. In the month of December, 37.7% opponent field goal percentage as a primary defender. Lowest in the NBA, minimum 150 defended field goals. Guys, OG Anunoby's the best. He's the best defender in the NBA. Like, he is. Like, he's legit. And what we're seeing from him in a year where after a summer where he got the bag, where he got paid, the highest paid Knick of all time, right before Cat came in here. He came in here and he continued to work and continues to pretty much have the success that he had last year before he got hurt in the playoffs, where he was dominating the Pacers as well. I mean, you're taking a look at these numbers. Career high, third in the NBA in deflections. His wingspan is insane. And yes, his offense has been struggling. It has been. But this is why players like OG can go in a slump for a month, because you have Mikal playing well, Cat playing like an MVP, Brunson playing well. It's like if Brunson went in a slump for a month, I know it's not apples to apples, but this Knicks team is built so they can sustain these slumps offensively. And tonight, Anunoby was due for some regression because his shot was just not falling, and he dominated his former team. Just dominated. And frankly, he's been dominating all season. Frankly. He's been amazing. He's been absolutely incredible. This Rover says, as much as our defense fell apart in the fourth, the rest were giving away shooting fouls. Toronto, like it was out of style. Tony says, most teams don't even have two players that can do that, and we have four. Guys, it's pick your poison, man. Like, it's one thing to have, look, Anunoby and Bridges, they were Wingstop. You came into the season hoping that they would be this lockdown, duo. And now you're starting to see the lockdown duo. You're starting to see Anunoby's been rock solid all season long. Bridges had that rough start, and Bridges in the month of December has been incredible. 14 points for Bridges tonight, but he only attempted 10 shots. So I thought he had some timely threes tonight as well. 4 of 8 from 3. That's what you love to see from Mikal. I mean, 50% shooting from 3. And tonight, I think 2 of those threes were from above the break. So that's the area where Mikal Bridges has been struggling with the most this season, have been those above the break threes. But he's been awesome. And then, of course, you got Brunson, 12 points, 7 assists, 2 steals. One night Brunson can be leading you to victory against the Pelicans and willing you to a great win like he did. 7 threes. Cat didn't have it. The next night, Anunoby can will you to a victory with 31, 7, and 4 on 13 and 15 shooting of 4-6 from 3. The next night versus the Christmas Day versus Spurs, it could be Brunson again. It could be Mikal again. It could be Payne again off the bench. It could be Deuce again off the bench. So it's fun to watch this Knicks team click like this. It is. And we're 29 games in, and you're starting to see them play extremely well. You're starting to see them play fun, like freely too, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Tony says, Ant, is this the Knicks' best starting 5 ever? Tony, this Knicks starting 5, in my opinion, and I know if you want to dig up the archives, I know people would try to find a starting five better than this, but in my lifetime, Tony, this is the Knicks. This starting 5, in my opinion, is right now one of the best starting 5s that the Knicks have ever had. And you're seeing it on the court right now. It's showing on the basketball court. And that's just not me being Homer enthusiastic fanboy, Knick fan. I'm objective when I need to be, but this starting five right now, and we're not even talking about Josh Hart. I mean, he's. I thought in the first half tonight, Josh Hart, I thought he played extremely well. There was a play where he had a fast break spin move, and then they fouled him. There was a play where Brunson caught Josh Hart on a fast break. Pretty assist to Josh Hart, and I think it was Brunson. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was Brunson. But Josh Hart is also having a great year. And obviously it's led by your big guns, but I do think that this starting five is elite, man. El Figgy says, let's give Campaign his flowers. El Figgy, yes, of course. Talked about the big Campaign. There was a nickname where somebody came up with. Shout out to Towns Muse on Twitter. He said that this was a cat-mouse game. This was a cat-mouse game. So you had Cat playing well, and Campaign is obviously the mouse. But nah, man, this guy right here, let me put him on the screen, man. I got to give him his shine because pretty much all season, right, he's been like the flexing now with the muscles from Campaign. Every time he makes a three, he's flexing now. And then you have him and what's his name? Olynyk getting into it, and Campaign's like, who is this guy? So I'm happy that Champagne is back with Landry Shamet and Campaign, but Campaign has just been that Energizer Bunny off this Knicks team. And he's been the spark that honestly, I wasn't expecting this from Campaign, but he's blown my expectations out the window. 19 points tonight. And look, to say the least, this Knicks bench has kind of been non-consistent in terms of scoring. So it was good to see Cameron Payne just absolutely ball out tonight because you needed it. I mean, you needed that spark. And we went over it. I think he had 8 points in a 5-minute span. He's awesome, man. He's awesome. Every team needs a crazy dude, man. I'm telling you. I've been saying that for a while now. Every team needs that crazy guy. Like you need some guy with pizzazz off the bench that's not afraid to get in someone's face. And Campaign is just that. He's just that. And I think him and Deuce complement each other well. And when Landry Shamet hopefully gets back into the groove and back into the swing of things, I think you're going to see Landry Shamet out there. I do. And shout out to Landry Shamet for working his way back, and he's on the squad. Tom Thibodeau didn't play him. I mean, he played him later on in the game tonight when it was out of reach, but I think when Shamet will get comfortable in the during the practice time, I think we're going to see Shamet. 43-28 in the fourth. Yeah, man, that was a rough fourth from the Knicks, but oh well. I mean, that kind of it. The thing about the fourth quarter, it will skew the defensive numbers for the month of December, which kind of stink because this obviously, I think Mike Breen said on the broadcast that they're in the month of December, they're 4th in defensive rating, which is crazy when you compile their offense and you had Anunoby slumping. And that's the upside of this Knicks team, ladies and gentlemen. So shout out to the squad. Karl-Anthony Towns, baby. Karl-Anthony Towns. The MVP season continues for Karl-Anthony Towns. Let me just put up a graphic from Karl-Anthony Towns. Another double-double for Mr. Karl-Anthony Towns, ladies and gentlemen. That is his 18th double-double, 18th straight double-double on this season. And let me just make this graphic big and talk through it. So you're looking at the longest double-double streaks in franchise history. Walt Bellamy in 65, 66, 44 straight double-doubles. Wow. David Lee. We all know David Lee, right? All those double-doubles in 09, 24. Jerry Lucas with 21 in 1972. And then you got the big bodega with 18 straight double-doubles on the season, surpassing Patrick Ewing when Ewing had 17, surpassing Willis Reed, surpassing Bob McAdoo. Guys, I said Karl-Anthony Towns. What did I just do? I just got rid of. I said Karl-Anthony Towns was the second best center in the NBA last post game. Karl-Anthony Towns is the best center in the NBA right now. He is playing like the best center in the NBA. He is. And for him to be doing what he's doing this year, remarkable. Truly remarkable for this Knicks team. 31 points tonight, 10 rebounds, and 7 freaking assists for Big Cat. 7 assists. He was literally just trying things in the fourth quarter. Like, when the game was out of control, I think, he fouled out again, and I saw a comment in my concern about the foul outs. Maybe he fouled out because he was like, all right, this game is a wrap. I got 31-10. I'm good. But I'm not saying he did that, but 11 of 15 from the field. And like we've been saying, he's been hovering around these 15, 16, 17 field goal attempts a game. He's not even attempting 20, 25 shots like, most of these superstars in the NBA. And he's still giving you 31, 10, and 7. And 1 steal. 8 of 10 from the line, 1 of 3 from 3. I know he had the game versus New Orleans. He offensively, he was off, got into foul trouble. But guys, do you guys agree? I think Cat is the best center in the NBA right now. And he's damn sure playing like it. And he's obviously, this Knicks team is led by so many guys, but Cat is playing like an MVP right now for this Knicks team. And the chemistry that we're seeing from the guys, the chemistry with Cat and Anunoby, the chemistry with Cat and Brunson, with Cat and Bridges, I thought it was going to take longer than this, maybe half a season, but it's 29 games in, and this Knicks offense is not losing a step, especially the starting five. And you have Karl-Anthony Towns playing like an MVP, and Anunoby playing like a defensive player of the year, and Bridges, the month of December, he's been awesome. So, Cat's been freaking incredible. He's been freaking incredible. Nostalgic says, no question. Appreciate every single one of you guys in here. Come join us here in the chat. Once again, big Knicks win, 139-125 against the Toronto Raptors. RJ Barrett, what did Barrett have tonight? 23, 6, and 6. Raptors are going through a big rebuild. See what we got. Khaled says we need Cat at the 5, but we need a true power forward. Oh, man, Khaled. Look, Khaled. Cat is playing like an MVP at the 5. Like, he came into this season, he said that he was preparing to be a 4, obviously, in Minnesota. They traded him literally overnight, last minute. Cat had to adjust his game and prepare to be the Knicks starting 5. And look, in the month of December, this Knicks team defensively, they found something. And Cat is a part of that. Now, I know the Knicks' best defensive lineup has Jericho Sims in it. Doesn't have Cat, but there's a reason why Cat is putting up these MVP numbers. There's a reason why Cat is efficient. Defensively, he may need help. He may need work on that end. But offensively, it poses such a disadvantage for opponents. Like, you have to guard Karl-Anthony Towns above the key. Otherwise, he's going to hit a 3. So just having him at the 5 defensively, can it look bad at times? It can. But offensively, you're just playing at such an elite level with him at the 5 and Anunoby at the 4 and Bridges at the 3 that you cannot mess up this starting 5. You cannot mess up this starting 5. And I don't think they will. But I think Karl-Anthony Towns playing the 5 is a huge part as to why he's putting up these MVP numbers. Man, oh man. Grady, I don't know if I can even say his last name because YouTube might flag me. Grady needs the vacation from after guarding OG Anunoby. Mike Breen and Jamal. First of all, Jamal Crawford. I like Jamal Crawford on the broadcast. I don't know if you guys, heard Crawford, but I like him. I think he's a good. Obviously, he's a legend, but I like him on the broadcast with Mike Breen, and him and Mike Breen have chemistry. But they were joking back and forth about Grady all night long, and I just thought it was hilarious. But I'm not sure if I could say Grady's last name, but you guys know his last name. Somebody said, Tony says the best thing that happened to Karl-Anthony Towns was leaving Minnesota. This guy is nowhere near soft. I like that he is super professional. He's professional. He's prepared. He's organized. He's everything Knicks fans and more were hoping for. And especially now, on 2 days before Christmas, this Knicks team playing like this and Cat playing like that. Like I said earlier, I don't think this Knicks team has hit their peak. What is their peak? I don't know. It could be just more of this, but with better defense. And we've been seeing that in December, right? This Knicks team can improve. It can. And I think the addition of Shamet now is only going to help that. So beating you in many different ways. And I just cannot. I keep going back to OJ Anunoby starting 11-11 from the field. It's crazy. Just absolutely crazy. Best thing that happened at Karl-Anthony Towns is coming to New York City. I'm happy that Karl-Anthony Towns is in a Knicks uniform. And I'm happy that OJ Anunoby is in a Knicks uniform. Brunson is in the Knicks uniform. Crawford is the next Frazier. Yeah, Jamal Crawford on the broadcast is incredible. I think he's really good. And I enjoy hearing him on the broadcast. Khaled says, I don't think Cat would be this good going to other teams. He literally fits perfectly with these guys, and the chemistry is on 100%. That's another thing, is the chemistry, right? These guys are likable. Like Brunson, easy to get along with, and which made the Julius Randle not. I know people made a big deal out of Randle not, saying bye to Brunson at the end of the Minnesota game, and it got, it went all over social media. But this group is a likable group, and they're selfless. They don't care about individual statistics. They don't. They just want to win basketball games, and you're hearing it from OG. You're hearing it from our captain, Bridges. Cat. We said it, man. 5-man offense, right? I mean, we coming to the season, we said you put OG in one corner, you put McKellen in one corner, you have Brunson and Cat do their thing, and it's more to that. But you're starting to see this Knicks offense just dominate, just straight dominate. The vibes are way too immaculate. Yeah, man. I mean, look, how about the MSG crowd chanting Tyler Kolek's name at the end of the game, too? I absolutely love that. Tyler Kolek is a fan favorite. I think he won the G League MVP showcase. So shout out to Tyler Kolek. And McBride, we talked about Deuce starting to turn the corner here. I know he had 2 points. I think he had 2 points versus the Pelicans, but really he has started to turn the corner here offensively and just campaign with his best offensive game of the season. 19 off the bench. And Precious with 5 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. All around just dominant game from I think, your bench. And you could build off of this. Loud and clear, voiceover, super chat. Appreciate you in the chat with your super chat. Appreciate your generosity and always subscribing and tuning in. Really appreciate that. He says, great win tonight. Hope everyone has a great holiday. See ya on Wednesday after we smack the Spurs. Have a great holiday. Hope all is well with you. And thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate you hopping in here and giving me your time on this Monday evening holiday season. So thank you again. But yeah, I mean, look, the thing I love about this Knicks team is like I don't even want to like pick individual stuff, but you're just seeing everyone play their role. And you're not too like a lot of times during the game, you're not really seeing players at like in the beginning of the season, you were seeing Bridges like out of position a lot, right? You're not seeing that anymore. You're not seeing anything like that. So Bridges in the month of December is playing incredible, but look, the sky's the limit for this team, and this is why we've been saying this all season long. It just took them some time, and I know we're still going to go through adversity. Adversity is good, but right now, what more can you say about this team? They're just an amazing group to root for, and it's December 23rd, and we're still talking about how they can improve, how they can even hit a higher ceiling, and if that makes sense. But yeah, all around just amazing freaking game from the squad, and let's go. And I'm going to say this, when there was a game last year, Brunson scored 10 points and we won. We have a team where our captain can be off and we still can blow out a team, special team. I want to see the Knicks cook the Spurs just off that when Wembanyama flop. Yeah, I saw that, the Drummond injection. This team would have never looked like this if we had Randall. We literally get like 30 assists a night. Randall is a ball stopper. All right. Look, let's. I get it. But hey, look, go to the team stats tonight, right? I think they had 35 assists tonight. Can we win without throwing some shade at Julius Randle, please? Can we win without throwing some shade at Randle? 34 assists as a whole. And once again, you look at the box score, you look at the assist numbers, and you see the Knicks above 30 assists. I want to say, this is just off the top of my head, that they played 29 games this year. I want to say like more than half of their games they've had above 30 assists. Obviously, I got to do some digging for that stat, but in majority of their wins, it's above 30 assists. And 45% from three, 59% from the field, 69% from the free throw line. Brunson had some misses at the free throw line too. He's been kind of like off at the line lately. And 35 rebounds, you didn't need them because you were literally scoring on almost every possession. You almost dropped 140 for 17 turnovers for the Knicks team. That's the thing. In the first quarter, it was 30-28. I think the Knicks had 5 turnovers in the first quarter. Then to open up the second, they had another turnover. So, and to look, on the year, this Knicks team has been limiting their turnovers, but obviously 17 is a big number for this team, and you don't really want to get into that territory. But look, largest lead, 33-2, just domination, man. Domination from this game. And yeah. And we got the Spurs on Christmas Day. I cannot wait for that one. I haven't even heard Nets fans bring up the picks packages in weeks, Khaled says. It was funny. That was their main talking point. Was it an overpay? It was, but you haven't heard a peep from them now that Mikal Bridges is playing extremely well. And Lewis says it best. What's going on, Lewis? Hope all is well. The thing with this year's Knicks is there's no egos on the team, and that's not a shade on any player, but that's got to be real fun to go to work every day. Well said, Lewis. No egos on this team. No egos on this team. And that's not shade at, players that have left the door. But Leon Rose, ever since the moment he took this job, signing Tom Thibodeau, has built a culture. And now you can say the starting five is the core. So this is year one of this Knicks core. And coming into the season, super excited. You got Cat, you got Mikal, you got Brunson. Anunoby is going to have an all-star season. And he damn sure is. He's going to have an all-defensive season. He damn sure is. Josh Hart was kind of the wild card, right? You were kind of like, should we start Deuce? Should we start Hart? Should we start Precious? Then Precious gets hurt. And then Hart has his career start to the season. So almost every button that Leon Rose has pushed has worked. And you have to trust him. He's giving you no other reason but trust him. And the Cat trade was, it's showing now how much the Knicks won that trade. It's showing now how much they won that trade. And I know it's December 23rd, but they did. They won the trade, man. They won the trade. And I know it's not like a win-loss. Like, you don't judge trades off of that. And, you know, I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to, like, rub anything in on another team. But like I said, it's year one of this group. And obviously, everyone is pretty much signed long-term, too. You got the Mikal contract extension that you got to deal with. But other than that, we golden. Take care of your bench. Get Shaman in there. Grow the guys. Grow Daddy, Huck Porty, Kolek. You kind of have your nucleus, man. You kind of have your nucleus of a championship team. Now it's about putting it together on the court, and what you're seeing now is them just do that. And you still got Mitchell Robinson just in the chamber, just waiting to come back, knocking at the door. And I know some fans aren't going to rely on Mitchell Robinson simply due to the fact that he just can't stay healthy. But it is good to have him on the bench, late game situation where you need to stop. He will help your rebounding. We know what Mitch can bring. So it's just exciting knowing that is still on the horizon. And I guess when I talked about this Knicks team hitting their peak, maybe when he comes back and that's their peak. But right now, this Knicks team is just, guys, they're amazing. They're playing incredible. They are. El Figgy, love our chemistry. Cat and OG smiling when Kolek took the court. We have great leaders: Brunson, Towns, class clowns, Josh Hart and Payne, and humble men, OG and Deuce. I love the way you put that. You have the leaders in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, the class clowns in Josh Hart and Cam Payne, and the humble men with OG Anunoby and Deuce McBride. And that's what, like, makes a great classroom, right? Like, class clowns joke around, lighten the mood a little bit. You have the guys that, you know, the leaders in the classroom that, you know, serious people. And, you know, it's a good group of guys. Honestly, it is. And it obviously it starts with our captain, but in a game where he had 0 points in the second quarter, and this Knicks team was still up 20. Literally every game, the opponent should pick a name out of a hat and say, all right, this is the guy that's going to beat us, because it was Brunson last game. A couple of the games ago, it was Karl-Anthony Towns dominating his former team. OG Anunoby tonight, and Cat tonight, and Payne tonight. So it's awesome. It's awesome witnessing this team play like this. Mitch Precious, Cam Payne, Deuce McBride, Landry Shamet, deep bench, Tony says in the chat. Yeah. And look, Mitch is still a month or so away. I think that will be a major addition, but you have Mitch. That is a deep bench. That is a deep bench. And Shamet, I know we have to see more from Shamet, but Thibodeau trusts him. And he didn't play tonight, really. I know it's his first game being signed with the Knicks since, you know, recovering from his shoulder surgery or shoulder injury. I shouldn't say shoulder surgery. I don't know. I'm not sure if he had surgery, but when it's all said and done, you have options, right? You have options off the bench. And Thibodeau, as the season progresses, you know how he is. You know how he operates. He trusts his guys. And in the playoffs, rotations shrink. You're only going to get 8 guys off the bench, sometimes 9. But in the playoffs, you're only going to get 8. That's just how Thibs operates, and I'm okay with that. I truly am. But when you have a starting 5 that's this dominant, it can kind of mask your bench, right? You can put Anunoby in with the bench. You can put Bridges in with the bench, and that's what Thibs has been doing. Towns is the first man out the game. Brunson, I think, comes out later in the first quarter. So you can do that, and that's what Tom Thibodeau has been doing. He's been mixing and matching his bench. So when you look at the Knicks being last in bench scoring, it's kind of like, I know their bench needs improving, but the way the Knicks are operating their rotations is what I'm saying is going to bode well for them later on in the season when they get Mitch back and Shamet. The New York Knicks are third in the Eastern Conference. They've been third. Look, they leapfrogged the Magic. They are 19-10 on the season, 6.5 games behind the Cleveland Cavaliers, knocking on the door for Boston. I cannot wait for that Knicks-Boston matchup again, because this Knicks team, compared to Game 1 against the Boston Celtics, totally different. You can't compare the teams. Totally different team. So 9-4 at home, 10-6 on the road, 5-1 in their division. Look, man, 4 in a row, 8-2 in their last 10. 3 games back of Boston. Cleveland is still freaking rolling, man. I mean, they're 9-1 in their last 10, and they're doing it quietly too. 26-4 for Cleveland. 1 through 3, we said it coming into the season. Wherever this Knicks team falls or where they land, that's where I think they're ultimately going to fall. 1 through 3 in the Eastern Conference, and still early, but I love where we're at. I love where we're at right now. Saw a video of Mitch doing plyometrics today. He is on his way. Let's go. Mitch Robinson back soon. Cannot wait for Mitch to be back soon. And calling Josh Hart will have 30 on Christmas Day. His due for that game. Yeah, look, Hart, you don't need Hart to score. But the thing about Hart this year is he has been. And he's that guy that's going to push the pace. He's that guy that's going to die for loose balls. He's that guy who's going to argue with the refs and get technicals like he did tonight. So he's the guy who's going to sing All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey on the bench. Hart is hilarious. So Mitch, OG, McHale, Deuce, Brunson, Payne. Looking forward to the different lineups we're going to have once Mitch returns. Likewise, Tony. Likewise. When do we play Boston again, man? I cannot wait. So let's go to the next schedule. Cannot wait for that rematch versus Boston, man. So, guys, look at this schedule. Right? 19-10. You're 19-10 right now. You got San Antonio Christmas Day. Should be a great game. Spurs should, want to win that game. You got Wemby coming to MSG, Chris Paul. So, it should be a great game. Then you're at Orlando again. At Washington twice versus Utah. And then once you hit January 6th, like I've been saying this for weeks now. Once you hit January 6th, you are home. You don't go on a plane until February 4th. So there's a month span where you don't really travel. I mean, you got Philly, that's a train ride. You got Brooklyn. You can stay in your own bed for that. And then you go to Toronto on February 4th. So the schedule gods in the month of January for this Knicks team, I love it. I love it. I truly do. But, yeah, I mean, San Antonio's next. You just got to take care of business against San Antonio. But right now, the way this Knicks team is playing, you should. You go back to Orlando. Man, we played Orlando like, sheesh, that's our 3rd time playing Orlando already this season. And then the double whammy at Washington. I don't like those games. Those playoff double whammy back-to-back games against the same team. But yeah, just incredible performance from this squad, led by their lockdown defender, OG Anunoby. In case you haven't seen the graphic, I'll put it up again. OG Anunoby, 1.6 steals per game, second highest of his career. 1.1 blocks, career high. 101 deflections, third in the NBA. And in the month of December, 37.7 opponent field goal percentage as the primary defender. That, my friends, is why you give this man the back. Right there. That's why you give him the back. For performances like that. And at the end of the game, you see OG Anunoby and the MSG crew. Shout out to the MSG crew. I want you guys to take a look at the microphone. It says MSOG. Because we know OG Anunoby loves to grab the mic, so they gave him his own mic. And, of course, he didn't grab the mic this time. But what was this, like his third or fourth walk-off interview this year? Incredible player, man. Truly gifted. Incredible. But, yeah. God. Things are looking up, man. Things are extremely, like, obviously it's a good time to be a Knicks fan, obviously. But man, adversity is good. It is good, but you know, right now you just take these wins, man. You enjoy them, because enjoy the season, enjoy these moments, enjoy the guys joking around, enjoy all that stuff. Lewis, get the crying emoji. OG got a stern word from the front office about padding his steals. Dish Rover. Come on, Dish Rover. Looking forward to that OKC game. Could be a preview of the NBA Finals. I like that. NBA Finals. New York Knicks versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. That would be a doozy against Isaiah Hartenstein, but we got a long way to get to go from there. Any other pictures? All right, let's go to some highlights tonight, right? What do you guys say? What do you guys say? This is from Ronnie Fegg. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Ronnie Fegg on Twitter. This Knicks team is meshing on that contender level. Fun to watch. People forget how far we've come in just a few seasons. Can't wait to see what happens when Robinson is back and Cat plays the 4. Ooh, already ready with that conversation. But yeah, I mean, it's true, right? Can't wait. That is when I think this Knicks team will hit their peak, is when Mitchell Robinson comes back. And that is when you can unleash the beasts. Start Robinson, put him on the bench. You have options. I know that will be a talking point when the time comes, like when Mitchell Robinson is on the verge of returning. I know a lot of Knicks fans will say, I want to see him start. I want to see him come off the bench. We'll obviously cross that bridge when we get there, but campaign. Love that guy, man. This is Josh Hart singing "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey. Look, the aura is back, man. In MSG, the vibes are there with this Knicks team, and call them corny, but the guys are just having fun. And then Cat with the passes. That's another thing that has just blown my expectations out the door. Like, I know he's been a gifted passer throughout his career, but once Hartenstein went to OKC, they needed the Cat trade. They needed a big man who can pass the rock like Karl-Anthony Towns. And what do you have, 7 assists tonight? He's been doing this all season long. A big man that can facilitate, that can score, that can shoot the 3, that can shoot 90% from the free throw line. That is tough. I don't want to hear that he's soft. I don't. Then you got Cat just trying stuff. This is when the Knicks were just trying stuff in the fourth. Look at that. Fake pass, spin. Oh, man. No stopping these Knicks, man. No stopping these. Oh, this was the pass I was talking about. This was Josh Hart to Jalen Brunson. So I got it mixed up. So the pass from Josh Hart to Jalen Brunson, that was just an insane pass. Incredible. And that's your fast break runner, Josh Hart, man. He's a great floor runner. He sees the floor extremely well. And he's just awesome when it comes to fast break. And even Brunson, I think Brunson over these last couple of games, I think he has 4 steals in his last 2 games. And this is the help defense on Barrett. And Brunson has been a pickpocket. Like, he's been a pickpocketer this year. So he's been getting those steals. So I know Brunson gets flack for his defense not being, up to par. But Jalen Brunson this year has actually been stealing the ball quite a bit. What did he have versus the Pelicans? I think he had 2 steals versus New Orleans. And tonight I think he had 2 as well. So that's 4 steals for Jalen Brunson in his last 2 games. So it's little things like that kind of go overlooked in the box score, but it's pretty cool to talk about. 2 steals tonight for JB. Mitch starting will help Cat from foul trouble. That game when Precious started was amazing, so I definitely want to see Mitchell Robinson starting. That will definitely help Karl-Anthony Towns with foul trouble. That was the one thing with Karl-Anthony Towns coming into this, like with the trade that we were kind of talking about, with that Cat gets into foul trouble a lot. Last game he was in foul trouble. He fouled out tonight. So Mitchell Robinson will help that for sure. But again, he's due back at the end of January. Right now we're working with, Precious and, some Sims. But it's just something you got to work through. It is. And look, the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau I'm sure he'll be asked that question regarding Towns' foul trouble. And his retort to that can just be like, look, it's something that we're working through. We're 19-10 right now. We're playing well. Our net rating is pretty good. Towns is still playing like an MVP. But when we're going to be playing like in a 7-game series, you need Karl-Anthony Towns to be on the floor. You cannot have him in foul trouble. And that is going to be game plan number 1. And it has been game plan number 1 for opponent teams when they've been going up against Karl-Anthony Towns. He fouls. Get him in foul trouble. Get him out his rhythm. Get him out the game. So Mitch will definitely help that for sure. But he can also improve on that as well. But, obviously we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, he will definitely help. Bridges should not be playing that many minutes, especially in a blowout. I was waiting on this comment. Look. What did he have tonight? Damn. 41 minutes from Mikal Bridges tonight. 41 minutes. 5 of 10 from the field. Another great efficient night for Mikal. 4 assists, and, the assist numbers have been up. But Tom Thibodeau was taking advantage of this Iron Man streak, right? He's like, Tom Thibodeau and Mikal Bridges, it's like a perfect match. Like, he's the perfect player for Thibs. Like, you don't get hurt. You play all the time. Okay. I'm going to play you all the time. He's leading the league in minutes. But, look, Mikal is at a point of his career where he's taking great care of his body. And some players just like, he's a different cat. He's a different breed, honestly. But his streak that he's on is truly remarkable. And Thibodeau is just using that to his advantage. But hey, it's just a streak that, it's honestly the streak is what, like, if you guys know it in the chat, it's something absurd. But 41 minutes tonight. Yeah, I get it. I see your point. But it's like Dibs is just like, look, this guy don't get hurt. This guy don't get hurt, but people will say he don't get hurt until he does get hurt. And then what? But yeah. Look, I came into this season like Mikel's on this crazy streak. And the moment where like he's out for like a game or something, you know the finger's gonna be at Dibs. It just is. But yeah, I don't really know what to say, to that. It's just the streak is incredible for Mikel, and his body is built different. It is. His build is different. Just skinny dude who's been gifted to just not deal with injuries in his career. This Rover Mikel is an Iron Man, not a cyborg. Oh man, yeah, I understand. I get it. And I want to see next game. We up 20-30 to start the fourth. I want to see the bench play the entire fourth quarter. Your thoughts? We were getting there tonight, man. We were getting to that point tonight where I think at one point Tyler Kolek was called into the game. The Dibs sat him back down because they cut the lead to 13. But it's I want to look. The guys you want to see are obviously. I know. Like what's the old saying? It's like the backup quarterback is always the fan favorite. Something along those lines. But fans always love the backup quarterback, and Tyler Kolek and the rookies. You just want to see them play. Huck Porty, what we've seen from him this year has been incredible. And look, they're working behind the scenes. They're practicing a lot. The Knicks are utilizing their G League rights with them. They're playing them in the G League, which is great. And when you have the starting five playing this well, no injuries, knock on wood, because this Knicks team has been healthy. Don't want anything to obviously happen. I'm knocking on wood. Precious is back now. So it's fun to see the Rooks. It is. But you can't blow out everyone, right? You can't blow out everyone. And that's what I have to say about that. So, yeah, guys, this Knicks team is hitting their stride. Let's go through. So Spurs next, right? Christmas Day. Spurs next. I'll be on here for that game, the post game. So hope to see you guys on the game. Once again, we are third in the East. Christmas Day. We got the San Antonio Spurs. Great game out of OG. Great game out of Cat. And we just keep on rolling. So San Antonio up next. We just got to keep the momentum. Keep the momentum. Our bench is back. You see what happens when you have one big blow-up game? Our bench is back. Wild Boy, man. I love you in here. You bring that energy. You're like, Wild Boy Trey, you're like campaign in the chat. Literally, you're like campaign in the chat. That's your comparison. Always bringing that energy in here. And I love it, man. Shout out to you. We got to play the Spurs, though. They ain't no pushover. They're not. They just lost to the 76ers with Embiid and getting thrown out in that game. I think I saw him flinching at a female ref. So I don't know what is going on. They won. Maxey, I think he had a game winner in that game. But Spurs, no pushover. Wemby's going to – remember the game in San Antonio last year when Wemby and Brunson were dueling it out and Spurs pulled that one out. So payback, man. I know Brunson doesn't forget about that one. I think Brunson was 1 point away from breaking Melo's streak, and he just couldn't do it. So it's going to be a fun one. Christmas Day should be a fun one, and I cannot wait for it. So we're going to put a 150 piece on the Spurs. Hey, sign me up for that. All right, guys, appreciate every single one of you that joined me here for another Knicks Nation post game. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And yeah, I'll be back Christmas Day. Happy holidays to every single one of you. Thank you for giving me your time once again. Follow the Instagram at Knicks Nation, Twitter at Knicks Nation. But let's go Knicks. We are rolling. Wild Boy Payne. What's going on? I like that nickname. But I'm Anthony. I got you guys next time. As always, this is Let's Go Knicks. Peace.